Hello, yeah, you guys probably know me as IrishLook23. I'm going to be kind of the moderator for this thing, reading questions and whatnot, and I've been communicating a lot for you guys in the community. I have a BA in journalism and film, and I took a lot of marketing classes, and basically a lot of my broadcast classes revolved around promotions and whatnot, so that's kind of my expertise.
Hey guys, I've got a background in engineering. I have a bachelor's from Oklahoma State, and I've done quite a bit of coding and happy to be a part of the team.
Hello, I went to school for finance and graduated with a bachelor's, and I have been working in the finance industry for a few years now, so just happy to be here.
Yeah. And just keep in mind, guys, we will record this whole thing and post it for those that couldn't make it or those that want to go back and check things. And there will be an FAQ that's compiled by C. Todd, and we'll post that up on all the things in the website after the fact as well with the answers. But yeah, let's get into it. So I'm just going to go down the list, starting at the top here, which we have a little bit about the pre-sale for butter and milk holders. Do you want to wait to answer that, Claypool, till the end, since that's going to be a big announcement anyways?
Yeah, I'm going to hold off on questions regarding specifically the pre-sale until the end, but I will say that the butter pre-sale will be announced ahead of time, and the hard time and hard date will be announced at the end. Available for everybody, milk holders and not alike.
Okay. So next is, how are you planning to market this and when? Which is a very common question. So I'll just start off with this, and hopefully that answers most of them going forward. But so yeah, right now it's all been word of mouth, organic growth. We haven't paid for any marketing yet. So what we have in the works right now is next week I have two influencers on TikTok who are reputable, and they don't just you don't pay them basically like a lot of these other people where you might give them $500 to just hype up a coin so it pumps and dumps. These guys do analytical reviews of tokens, and I was in contact with them, told them we're confident in our product, we would love for you to review it on your TikToks, and they both agreed. So that will be coming out next week, and when it does, I will release it. So that's already some promotional stuff there. In addition, with the butter launch, 1% fee will be added for every exchange with that, and that will go towards business expenses and marketing. So that's going to be what kind of helps fund it. So next week we are for sure paying for marketing, and we will have an introductory video, hopefully out by I want to say Saturday. FF Fakies, who's done our logo and did the first developer update video. He's really excited about this and has some good stuff in the works. And basically, we're going to keep it under a minute, so it's going to be really easily postable on TikTok and Twitter as well. And you guys can share it to Reddit, and we'll take 15 seconds of that and use it as a YouTube ad, Google ad, stuff like that. And we're going to work on a banner for banner ads using things like Coinzilla and whatnot. But yeah, there will be some paid marketing starting next week, so keep an eye out for that. And then a little bit more down the line, because I've seen people talk about merch and whatnot, we were thinking that when we start the merch, hopefully, by within a month or so, a portion, we want it to be for charity. So merch will basically raise funds for charity. And we'll go into more of that later down the road. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of a little bit about marketing. So let's keep going.
All right, it looks like next Bobby Axelrod asked a really hard-hitting question. This one kind of threw me for a loop. I was out working in the field and he asked this question. I saw it and it really had my mind racked, and I think I've come up with a solution for this. His question was basically because there's that 50% staking maximum for the milk token for butter, what happens if someone sells all their milk? And the solution to that right now that I've implemented into the butter contract, which is viewable on the GitHub right now, is a sort of a reward slashing system. So if you are not compliant with that 50% maximum staked milk, so you've sold your milk after you've staked it in an attempt to gain butter essentially for free or kind of game the system, your rewards are going to be any unclaimed butter rewards that you've gained will be slashed and redistributed to the whole pool. So anything you've gained since the last time you've modified your stake or have taken out your butter will be redistributed to the whole pool to the compliant milk stakers. And the Web3 app that I'm developing for it right now will provide you with ample warning. It will say you need to acquire so and so much milk in order to claim these rewards. Otherwise, your rewards will be redistributed. So I think that's a good solution to ensure people, or to, I guess, deter people from trying to abuse the system as it exists.
Great. And the next one, which is also about marketing, I just want to throw in as well, which is like the timetable on it. In that, I've already covered the paid for marketing bit, but another thing is I've assigned Nonversate, which you guys may recognize from the Telegram. He's going to be taking the lead on community stuff, which I announced, I think, earlier today. And basically next week, he's going to try to take the lead on getting Reddit posts, TikTok posts out there, and just trying to spread it through the community, because people don't want to hear as much from us on those things like Reddit and whatnot, shilling our own coin, because we're not trying to shill, we're trying to give a good product. So it's all like, if you guys enjoy what you're investing in, spread the word, tell other people about it. And so he's going to take the lead on that and hopefully create some good materials that'll be easily shareable as well. All right, so next one is, will future charity donations be made straight from the charity wallet to a wallet held by the receiving charity, and will we be able to track it?
Right now, the plan is it would be great if we could find a bunch of charities that supported crypto payments, so we could just show you guys the transaction on Etherscan or BSC Scan, so you guys can have instant verification of whether that donation actually went to charity. But also, once we get to the point where we can actually form a legal entity, we'll be much more comfortable showing those transactions without potentially divulging personal information, like I've tried to avoid doing when showing you guys my previous donations that I've made. And a system in place to track specific donations, this can be implemented, and it's something we're currently exploring. It can be implemented even after the butter launch. I'll be able to track, I can make a system that tracks every address's transactions and is able to know your specific charity donations. And a form 8283, which is for the IRS, we can possibly, once we form a legal entity, form these in the future for you guys. But this is currently being explored.
Okay, and then Frog has had a lot of good questions in this thing. And while the first part I've kind of already answered, I will add on in terms of just my own background, because I see professional background. I've run for the last couple of years, I've worked for a CBS affiliate, and I've done the social media and some of the marketing for them as well. To go on to his next question, which is, will we provide our wallet addresses? I don't see any reason why we'd have a problem with that. So on the website, when we update kind of an about us, where you guys can see our degrees and backgrounds or whatever, we'll also add our wallet addresses in case you guys wanted to see that. What's the current roadmap for Milk? So we will continue to release week-to-week flyers, which will just say kind of that week's current goal, so you guys can see what we're trying to achieve within that week. But in terms of just like a generalized Q2 goal, now that we're going into Q2 this weekend, that'll basically be make sure that we are listed on every exchange, get that all for sure and set, launch our merch, and more details about that later on. And then, of course, the butter launch. Those are just the generalized goals to kick it off. And then, like I said, there'll be week-to-week ones as we go through. Is there plans to set up a dedicated platform for the community to share their voice on where we want to donate and tracking donations?
Yeah, I'll hop into that question. What I would like to do is I would like to have some sort of contract interaction where you're able to use your milk tokens or your butter tokens or both to actually cast your vote. And I can design a contract so that you're able to use your holdings to either suggest a new charity or vote for the charities that are already in a list. And this is planned in the future. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to continue to do just a community vote on social media platforms like Reddit and Instagram and other platforms that we're currently using. But I would like to have that implemented into the blockchain at some point in the future, near future, after butter launches. It'll be much easier to implement than the butter. So the turnaround time for that sort of system would be much shorter than it has been for butter.
Okay, great. So next one would be, what will happen in 22 when the locked liquidity is unlocked?
That's a great question. That's a question that I feel like everyone is wondering, because I set the lock liquidity to January 1st, 2022. What I would like to do is I would like to move that lock liquidity from DX sale to a more reputable and long-standing liquidity locker like Unit, what is it? Lock, X Locker. I'm totally I'm totally drawing a blank on the locker right now, but I would like to move that to a much more reputable liquidity locker. But that will be relocked at 2022.
Okay, cool.
Unicrypt is the name.
Sorry,
I was
continue.
yeah, Unicrypt is the name. I was digging in my brain to find the name. I would like to move that liquidity that's been generated at the point that we reached 2022, and I would like to move it to Crypt.
Okay. So the next one is where the dev/core team located. We're spread throughout, so I don't want leave it up to them if they want to reveal. I don't mind saying I put it in PST for a reason. I'm on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm also on the West Coast. United
I'm here.
States, in case you
I'm here
guys
in
are
the
wondering.
center of the United States.
Me as well.
Okay, so in the week 1 developer update video, Claypool talks about wanting to get organic growth rather than a pump and dump. They wanted to get our thoughts on that.
Yeah, I can kind of chime into that. So unfortunately, what we saw happen is we saw a few sort of nefarious actors come into our community and go out of their way to sort of pay people to do, I mean, essentially try and orchestrate a pump and dump on the coin. And they went kind of behind our backs and paid people to essentially shill our coin, which is not what we wanted to do. And it kind of created this situation that you see here. Yeah, that's a very good question to ask. I really appreciate that question. We're really on track for a normal organic growth. I was looking at some other coins and say like Fox Finance, where about a quarter of their holders, and we're trending about a quarter of their market cap in a reasonable amount of time. So it's not that, I mean, unfortunately that's what happened, is that we had people go kind of behind our backs, and some of these people even were so brazen as to message our mods and say stuff like, I'm not going to call out specific names, but they said stuff, I mean, to quote them, is, I don't give a fuck if you donate to charity, I just want to get my bag, and if this doesn't reach an all-time high by Friday, I'm going to leave. So it was sort of those people. There are a lot of people, unfortunately, on the Binance Smart Chain and throughout crypto that are really only interested in just pumping their gains, and they're just dumping it on someone else. And that's really unfortunate that happened, and there was nothing we could do to avoid that. They kind of went out of their way, kind of behind our backs, despite us telling them that that's not what we wanted. And I don't condone it at all. None of the team condones that sort of behavior.
Yeah, luckily we feel like we have a really great community at this point, and it seems like with the dip, a lot of them left and panic sold or got out of there. But yeah, we're really appreciative of the community that we have right now, and a lot of us all seem to be on the same one-track mind here of charity, right? That's the project's goal, is charity, and I've seen nothing but positive comments about that, which is good to hear. All right, so can I stake my milk for butter from Trust Wallet? Which wallets are supported for staking? And what plans do we have for exchange listings, which we've already announced? CMC, CoinGecko, those are all already been submitted. We're waiting on that.
Yeah, for what wallets are supported, I'm currently developing that web app for it, and I would like to support every wallet. Right now, it just supports MetaMask. I'm exploring supporting Trust Wallet. That will be implemented by the time that the Butter launch actually goes live. Is it will support every Web3 based browser, so you can just go to our website, to the page we have linked. Will be linked on the main site, and you can do all your contract interactions there. And for exchange listings, right now, yeah, as Irish said, that we have those what is it, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko pending right now, and we would like in the future to explore things like Whitebit, but currently Whitebit does not support the Binance Smart Chain, so I cannot give you any sort of date where we would begin to pursue that. But once they begin to support coins that are on the Binance Smart Chain, we will go ahead and go forward with that.
Okay, cool. This next one's been pretty commonly asked about airdropping Butter.
I can't make any promises about an airdrop, because an airdrop would require me to have a wallet that has a large amount of the coins that we can deliver to current milk users. I'm not entirely opposed to the idea, but I do believe having a large wallet that goes out to milk holders is a significant vulnerability, because it allows for that wallet to sell all their butter as soon as it launches, and kind of, I guess, pull the rug, drain that liquidity that gets generated. It could be possible to do something where before the launch actually happens and before the pre-sale happens, I could have that wallet that has that extra coins deliver to every milk holder. I think there are really easy utilities that allow me to gather addresses because I've seen, I mean, my wallet and even the Milk Token contract wallet actually has gotten coins from just random airdrops. So it's not an impossibility. It's something that I want to explore, but it's something that I want to make sure is without any vulnerabilities and any risk to you guys as the milk holders.
Alrighty. Next one is can you tell us if there's going to be any collab with social media influencers? As I announced earlier, we have two that are reputable that have agreed to do a review next week, and as we have with everything else, we will be transparent and announce if there's anything that we pay for that's coming up, and we'll keep you guys up to date on that. Also, are we looking for any more devs in terms of expanding the team? And I'd say for now, like as things grow, we're open to it. We can look for more things, but a lot of our focus has been this Butter launch. So obviously, after Butter launches, a lot more of our time will be free because I've seen people mentioning our 9-to-5 jobs, and yes, we do have full-time jobs in addition to this, but now our free time can be spent less on Butter launch and more on other things. But do you have anything else you want to add, Claypool?
Yeah, kind of about adding other developers. It would be really nice if we could add another developer because me and BB are the only ones kind of doing the Solidity coding and testing. It would be nice in the future to add these, but unfortunately, we have a lot of people DMing both of us asking us if they can kind of get access to our code. And honestly, I don't necessarily trust some random people for it. And there's been people that I can tell kind of are just asking for it to launch a fraudulent version of the token or launch scammy versions of the token. So we want to make sure that we have, a legitimate system in place before we decide to bring on other developers. But it's not out of the question. As we grow, we will, get more developers as needed.
All right. Next question is: does the butter come as passive income when you have milk staked? And do you need to manually take it out? If yes, which is yes, you do have to manually take it out. Can you get your butters without unstaking milk?
The way it will work is you will have to go to the site to claim your butter rewards, like you would do with cake on Pancake Swap or any other staking mechanism. And you can collect your rewards without unstaking your milk. There are two separate contract interactions. There is an unstaked milk interaction where you take your stake back, and there is a claim butter interaction where you claim your butter reward.
All right. What is the timeline by which milk token holders will be able to stake and start receiving butter relative to the butter presale? And is the team considering adding additional tokens to the ecosystem going forward to continuously provide value generation for investors?
Yeah, you will be able to stake your. I will announce the times that both of these things are going to happen at the end of the AMA or at the end of our section of the AMA, but you will be able to stake your milk 3 hours prior to the pre-sale. And as for future tokens, I really want to avoid a situation where we have just like this Russian doll nested egg sort of situation where we're just always staking these tokens into new tokens. But we will continue to flesh out and develop our system after Butter launches because we really want use cases for Butter. We've thought of things like a lottery similar to how Pancake Swap does with their cake token, where you can enter into a lottery by spending a certain amount of the Butter token and you get a Butter payout, and a certain percent of that gets sold into the charity wallet. But we're exploring more of these possible contract interactions in the future and use the milk and butter tokens. But I don't want to have just this cornucopia, if you will, of tokens where we have all these tokens that can be staked into different tokens. It ends up being far too confusing for the potential new buyer, and I don't want to kind of turn people off to the system.
All right, so this next one, it looks like the latter half of it we've already answered, but the first one, what's going to be the earning ratio for butter to milk per butter transaction?
The ratio, it's described in the white paper. The entire staking pool gets 2% of every butter transaction. The ratio you'll actually get is going to be entirely dependent on your position in the staking pool. So it's based on. There was a really good paper that I referenced in the white paper. I think it's called Scalable Rewards on the Ethereum blockchain. And the way it works is that you get a percentage based on your percentage of the pool. So if you have 50% of the pool, then you'll get 1% of butter transactions as your reward, and so on.
All right. Next, any plans for the dev or core team to dox themselves?
Yeah, after the butter launch, we're going to be, immediately looking into forming a legal entity, and at that point that we've actually established a legal entity and a company, we will go ahead and dox ourselves and reveal our full identity. You guys look up. But in addition to that, all of our usernames we use are the usernames we use for everything. These aren't fake accounts. These aren't, just. I mean, we're not just pretend people here. Like, these are our accounts. I've got, my Steam account linked. I've got my Twitch account linked where me and Irish had a Twitch stream we did for a while, and everyone else uses their. These aren't just fake accounts. So if you really want to do the research, you can find out who we are. But for an actual doxing of our own selves, we will hold off on that until we get a successful butter launch and we've formed a legal entity. And for an audit, I've already contacted Desert Swap, as Bobby Axelrod pointed out, and I will be sending the funds to do an audit of the milk token tonight. They cannot audit the butter token until it's live on the mainnet, so as soon as I put that on the mainnet, I will also pay to do the audit of that butter token. And adding additional core team members, we've already addressed. As the need comes, we will. We do all work a 9-to-5 job, so we kind of come back and do. As soon as I get off work, I'm immediately sitting down and working on the butter token. So it's kind of, I've put probably more time in the last week on the milk and butter token than I have at my job. So I probably spent 100 hours since the launch, at least, on the milk token. So we will, as the need arises, focus on adding additional core team members.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you covered the rest of that part of the question as well. So next one we have is asking about SafeMoon, which I've also seen a couple of times, and how it looks like they might be looking at charity aspects soon. And is it in the realm of possibility that we would be open to working with them? Should that opportunity arise?
Yeah, it would be really, really cool to work with SafeMoon. I was a really early investor in SafeMoon, and I really do like the SafeMoon project a lot. So it would be very cool once you build legitimacy after the butter token launch, if we could reach out with them and kind of do some work with them in the future. Because, yeah, I think it's a great team and I think it's a great project. So I will reach out to them after we've kind of established some legitimacy and we have a full working product in the form of the butter token.
All right, great. And the last one that was written ahead of time was, are there any plans or thought in structuring milk as a DAO?
I've kind of explored this, and I've kind of explored the possibility of having, the milk holders having ownership, at least a percentage of ownership of a legal entity that we were to form. But it's still kind of early for that because we've yet to form that legal entity. That's still in the future, maybe in the next few weeks. But as that sort of need arises and as we start to solidify those things, that will be very well explored.
Okay. Well, since that was the end of those, is there anything you want to announce involving butter and whatnot before we open it up to push to talk questions from people?
Yeah, I'll announce the release date for butter. So on Sunday, April 4th at 12 p.m., the staking process will begin, and you'll be able to go to milktoken.net, find our staking link, and stake your milk. At 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the 4th of April, you will be able to contribute to the pre-sale of butter, which will be taking place on DX sale. And as soon as the funding is reached, or the soft cap is reached, sale will end and butter will be live. So this Sunday.
Okay, and we'll put that written down somewhere so that you guys can see it. We'll post about it after the AMA.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we finished all the questions that you guys have asked us in the AMA questions chat. We're going to open it now so you guys can push to talk to ask us any additional questions you may have.
Hello, testing.
Hello?
Yeah,
Probably fixed across both channels.
Okay, this
Probably.
must have been the thing. How do I just need
Yeah.
to set it so use voice activity is off and you guys will all be push to talk, right?
Yeah.
Should do, yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, is it push to talk for everyone now?
Yeah, it's a
Fine
big
for me, but again, if people don't disconnect and reconnect, their permissions may not change.
for me just switching channels.
I think Irish is in their channel telling everyone to come over to Jen.
All right, I just let them know.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You'll also have to have push to talk enabled in order to talk in chat.
Yeah, I just added it. Sorry for that confusion there. I'm kind of messing around. I'm not super used to Discord and its channel permissions.
I've moved everyone to general chat.
Okay,
General.
perfect.
Or I wasn't here until the very end. Did you say Sunday is the
Yes, Sunday, April 4th. 3 p.m. PST will be the pre-sale, but at 12 p.m. PST, you guys will be able to stake your milk in ButterCon.
Do we have any
And-
details on the soft cap, hard cap, and will existing holders of milk have first shot, or is there a chance that existing holders won't be able to buy their maximum of butter?
I'm gonna answer that one question first. I haven't thought of a way. I mean, in order to do a custom pre-sale where only milk holders can buy, I would have to write a whole new contract, and I think that's just gonna take too long because all the people seem to be chomping at the bit to get butter out, and so it's gonna be on DX sale. But the benefit to milk holders who have milk before the launch is they get to stake and immediately earn rewards once the pre-sale goes live and people start transacting with butter.
Is there a low maximum?
There
to
will
buy
be a
butter?
low maximum. Yeah, it'll probably be lower than it was for milk. Milk it was 2 BNB, and I think I'm gonna do 1 or a half for butter because I don't want a situation where we have someone go in and buy up a huge percent of the supply right upon launch.
Do we
What
know
if
the
you get
ratio?
more butter than your milk that you've already got? Is that gonna mess with the staking?
That won't mess with the staking because there are no staking rewards, or there are no auto staking rewards on butter. So if you're holding a bunch of butter, it doesn't really benefit you in any way other than you have whatever the value of that butter is worth. The real value is from staking your milk to get butter. So if someone holds a bunch of butter and they transact with it, then that all goes to those people who have staked their milk.
So are you gonna have something like a DeFi UI for the staking, or is it gonna be a very manual, bare bones?
Yeah, it's gonna be a DeFi UI. It's gonna be on the milktoken.net website. I'm working on it right now, so it'll connect automatically to your Web3 browser of choice, and there'll be, friendly user-friendly buttons that can stake your milk, however much milk you want. It'll look similar to PancakeSwap, how you do their cake staking. So it'll be very, very user-friendly.
Okay.
For those of us who don't have much information on Unicrypt, when you said you were going to transfer the liquidity to Unicrypt, can you elaborate a little bit further on that?
Yeah, Unicrypt is just it's a liquidity locker, kind of like how DX Sale has its own liquidity locker. It's just one that has kind of much more mainstream appeal because it has just much more users and it's been more thoroughly audited. So I just want to, at the end of that liquidity period, which is until the end of 2021, I just want to move those to Unicrypt. It's I think it's unicrypt.com, I believe, is the website for it, but it's where a lot of, what's that?
I think it's .network, actually.
.network, okay. Yeah, but they have a much more thoroughly audited locking system for the liquidity than DX Sale. So I'd like to move it to something that has much more mainstream.
Okay. What are your plans for locking the liquidity afterwards? Do you have a time frame or?
Yeah, I will lock it for an additional year, so I will put it in until 2023.
Okay.
Did we have a ratio of if you go with half a BNB, how many butter tokens that we'll get?
That hasn't completely been decided yet. I believe I did a simulated launch with BB the other day, and I saw the number, but I did not write it down. So I will let you guys know that before the pre-sale even goes live. As soon as the butter contract hits the mainnet, I will let you guys know all of the details about it.
If you're shopping, buttermilk for BNB, and there's the extra liquidity that's get taken for it, is the butter or milk being switched into BNB for the liquidity, or is the BNB being taken? Because you're adding additional sort of sell pressure.
Yeah, that liquidity is taken out automatically by the contract. So what it does is it takes So for the milk contract, what it does now is 4% of every transaction is taken and added to the contract. And what the contract does is then sells half of that into BNB on PancakeSwap. So it's an automatic sort of sale transaction, but it's not large. The threshold is set very low, so it's not going to upset the price. And with milk, that will be, I believe that the total fees of the liquidity are 10%. So it'll take 10% and sell 5% of every transaction. But as I said, the threshold is very low, so it doesn't affect the price. If you look in BS Scan at the milk token transactions for the milk token contract, you can see the internal transactions it has done for that liquidity swap, and it's very low, so it's not sort of so it doesn't form that sort of downward pressure like you're talking about, where it has those sales going. I believe it's like once every 2 hours, and it's a low amount of milk that it actually sells.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just thinking if this picked up volume, then people selling smaller amounts will be more likely to put downward pressure on it. But I suppose it's all proportional.
Yeah, it is proportional. There's a value set in the contract code that says how many tokens it collects before it does one of those swaps.
So sorry, maybe I just wasn't here for this, but does butter also burn? Like, is butter the same as milk? The only difference is there's no auto staking, or does it not deflate as well?
No, butter does not deflate as well. Butter has a fixed or a fixed supply, but what the way it will work is that it always kind of changes hands into those people that have milk staked. It is possible to implement some sort of burn transaction, but I think a fixed supply where it's always changing hands and the people who have staked their milk is better, because essentially the way it works is the backing asset for butter is that milk that is staked. So as milk deflates, butter essentially does as well, because that milk, that backing asset, is depreciating, or not depreciating, deflating as well.
All right, so understood. Just another question. So I've seen a lot of other tokens that have been non-deflationary, and they rarely face problems with bots. Do you think that'd be a problem for Butter because it doesn't have a big deflationary fee, or would you think that the distribution would solve that, basically eventually making the bots useless?
I think that it's not that the deflationary fee would be an issue. I think the fact that, yeah, there's a 10% fee on every transaction that goes into the charity, the expense, and the redistribution and the auto liquidity. I think that would render bots not necessarily useless, but that would greatly dissuade people from using bots on that, because in order to actually get anything, because there's a 10% fee on every transaction, you'd need a 20% price movement upward. So I think that the bots are not going to be able to, account for that. I mean, it's difficult to really kind of account for what people are going to do, because people are very creative, especially when they want to try to take money from people. But I think that those fees will be enough deterrent from people.
I was unaware of the 10%. I think yeah, that's enough. Because the coin that I'm like kind of looking at um, had no fees, and it basically just had a cap to it because the bots would just dump on everybody.
I gotcha. Yeah, I've seen that a lot where they have like front running bots that will really mess with the price.
So why wouldn't anyone want to stake milk for butter? I suppose that's really what I'm confused about. Like, it seems like it would be, silly not to. If you're holding milk, you should be staking for butter. Is that wrong?
I mean, I guess if the only reason you really wouldn't want to stake milk is if you didn't want to, if you didn't want to collect those butter rewards and you just wanted to collect all of your milk holding rewards, there's no real reason not to stake it, other than if you were like speculating on the price of milk, I would say.
So while you're staking the milk, you wouldn't get the 5% reflection.
Yeah, your staked milk does not get the reflection, but it earns those butter rewards.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
And is that why it's only 50% can only be staked?
It's 50% because I would like to keep the milk circulation flowing, so that people who do hold milk get that sort of reflection fee. Because yeah, if you staked all your milk and there was no reflection fee, then you would stop getting that milk reflection fee reward, and it would kind of reduce the point of holding milk. I think a 50% is fair. So kind of ideally it'll equilibrate so that you're getting the same amount of butter rewards as you would milk rewards for that staked milk.
Sorry, last question. Is there going to be a fee for staking milk, or is there no fee? You can go in and out of that contract with no penalty.
There are no fees for staking milk. That contract is excluded from the fees of the milk contract.
Okay, thank
It
you.
will cost BNB.
Would there be a B&B fee though?
Yeah,
gas?
there'll be a gas fee for the
Yeah,
transaction.
a gas fee, but like I meant like, you know how sometimes they have a burning fee in DeFi. That doesn't exist on this contract, correct?
No, there'll be no fee for taking your milk in and out.
All right, thank you.
You got any other questions?
I feel like this one's just kind of a general question, but like, what do you guys feel like your biggest challenges are going to be, and how do you plan on overcoming them?
I'm gonna touch on this just a little bit. I think part of it is just keeping a positive momentum and kind of positive talk in everything that we do, because you know there's a lot of negativity out there, and again a lot of these kind of pump and dumpers, and it's kind of hard to combat that on your own. So I think just making sure that we keep a strong community and keep everyone on the same page. That's our biggest task, our biggest challenge, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that too. Kind of following up with that. When we launched, like without any marketing, it was just insane how big the influx was, which brought in a lot of great people, a lot of on some of those pumper dumpers that tried to influence that market. And because of that, those that look at the chart every day, I think that's what was causing some unrest. I could see in the chat, they're like, why is it dropping so low? It's like, well, we weren't expecting it to even go that high because we weren't planning to market it yet. Not to mention the fact that, as Claypool's mentioned, the original thing was that milk would have 2% going to charity. So this last week was all just on the spot thinking. Like, I was just impressed that Claypool even came up with all that. Like, all right, how do we fix this? Because the coding was wrong. Okay, butter. How does butter work? Oh, now you get rewarded for it. And in the end, now we have additional use for milk, and I think it worked out better in the long run because of the reward system. But yeah, so that's kind of just been like all on the spot thinking, trying to adapt and evolve as these issues arise. But yeah, just trying to keep things positive as BBW said.
Is anybody getting paid in milk tokens?
On the team?
Only
yeah.
all of us.
but in specific, the core team. I believe the answer is no, but
yeah, we're all pro bono right now. Nobody's making anything.
Yeah, the answer is no. The only milk tokens I guess we have received are from our milk holdings that we have. Just that reflection fee, just like all of you guys.
Do you guys plan on holding regular AMAs?
Yes, we'll be holding regular AMAs.
Does the 2x dev fee that you guys pay on your wallets go to the other milk holders?
It does, yeah. It's currently charged only on my wallet because these guys got in after the pre-sale. Once it kind of exploded, I added them to the team and they put in after the pre-sale, so they didn't get those pre-sale prices. So it's currently only mine, but any of those, none of us have sold because we all hold because we are working on the project and we believe in the project. But any of those, yeah, get redistributed just like they would any other fee. It just yeah, instead of 6%, or what is it? It's 6%, yeah. 8% of any of my transactions will go to liquidity, and then 4% of mine goes to reflection.
Gotcha. And you guys are gonna release the core team wallets?
Yes, we will release the core team wallet addresses.
Are you guys planning to show your faces or just stay anonymous?
Yeah, we'll show our faces. We'll, as we said, when we form ourselves as a legal entity, we'll release our identities, but we are planning a video AMA for the future, so you guys see us and see who we are.
Are you guys planning to onboard any more team members if anyone's interested to kind of work alongside with you guys?
Yeah, as we grow and as we need, we'll definitely start taking on more. It's already been quite a lot for all of us four, and as the need grows, as I imagine it will once the butter token is launched, we will take on more teams.
Luckily, a lot of the community has been great and just helped. Like I still consider them as a general part of the team, even though they're not officially part of the team, such as Fakies, who's done our logo and he's helping with the video, and now with the help of with our community marketing next week. The more you guys help out now, the quicker we can get this off the ground and look into more stuff.
Do you guys have like any expectations of what your financial aspects will be, or like expenses are going to be, or what your roadmap is? And if you do, how do you really like plan on compensating for them?
So that 1% of every butter transaction will go to our expenses, and I mean primarily our first push is for marketing. So pretty much all of that immediately is going to go into marketing, and as that fund for our expenses increases, we'll divvy it up as needed and where it's needed for, I guess, our business. But we will keep everyone well informed. We're trying to be as transparent as possible, so we will show you guys how that money is being allocated. So you guys, it's not going just to line our pockets. It's going to actually building.
And I think once we kind of get our name more established and in the marketplace and have a chance to work with more charities, it wouldn't be unheard of to do, community charity events using cryptocurrency. Things that haven't been done before in the past that we kind of have an availability to do in the future. And so I think, as we grow, the expenses grow with the company. So I think marketing, but also just community involvement is kind of what that'll help with.
And to add on to that, one thing I forgot to mention earlier too is a member of the community let us know that there's this charity in Finland that is huge, and as some of you may know, crypto is really popular there too, and it's a food charity. And recently, like this year, they got all of their funding from the government taken away from them. So what would be not just a awesome thing to do, but also great for getting the word of milk out, is to compile the next wallet's worth of donations and give it to them, because that would make local news easy for them to donate straight to that food organization. And if we decide to do that, we'll have details following up on that. But yeah, I think that would also be a great for next marketing push in the coming weeks.
I like that idea. General question and kind of just a statement as well. I would love to see a fav icon put on the website, just as general professionalism. There isn't one that I see present, and it would be really cool if there was.
Yeah, I thought I set one up, and it looks like I can see it on my end, but I don't showing up. So that's something I have to dig into that as soon as we.
I could see it.
I might just have to clear my cache because I've been poking at the website constantly, looking at it, so it might just not be updated for me yet.
Could I have a small question, and I don't know if it got answered. I had to leave the chat for a moment. Is there any plans to maybe form an NGO to hold the charity funds separate from the business entity, so that there can be complete transparency when it comes to the allocations of the charity funds as distinct from the business operations and business expenses, and of course you guys getting paid as you deserve?
Yeah, I've been working really closely with Spenceman about that. He's our tax and legal guy. So we're exploring kind of all venues, I guess, of being able to be completely transparent with how that charity fund is being allocated. And our plan is, yeah, as every time a charity donation is made or every time a charity is collected, it's completely reflected in a statement that we can produce to you guys that doesn't divulge any personal information of us. Because right now all the donations have been made from me personally, so the only way I could completely show you guys my donation is if I show you my bank statement. I've gone through every venue possible to show you that it provide you with proof. But with when we form a legal entity, we'll actually be able to show those statements directly without potentially divulging any personal information that might be detrimental to us.
I think it would be really beneficial, just based on the future of this sort of for the butter side of the token to really push what staking is. A lot of people new to crypto, or at least new to staking, won't have any idea, and especially based off some comments in the general chat, it's not something that everyone's completely familiar with.
And I can kind of comment on that too. So that this video that's going to be coming out, we're having the script hopefully out tonight or tomorrow morning, and that is what's going to be. Basically, picture this introductory video, not just an introductory to like what is the purpose of milk and butter, but how do they work together, and how it's like a quick 101 1-minute video for those that don't know. And then yeah, maybe we can post a more in-depth guide on the website as well.
Yeah, that would be great. Also, I think there's something that that Frog's been posting quite regularly. I don't know if this is a thing that everyone has been doing, but it's less of a shilling thing, but more of just something that people see when they look up coins. But going on CoinMarketCap and or CoinGecko or other things like Googling the coin, YouTubing the coin. It's just sort of those things that just keep it floating around in that sort of tagging space, and whether or not that's something that's worth getting an infographic for people.
There's kind of already one. I released one in the general chat recently.
Oh, perfect.
But yes, I think that's a great idea, and everybody should Google, YouTube, and tweet or search milk token. And obviously, once we get listed on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, just voting good.
And I should mention too, we were talking about wrapping this up at in 10 minutes for a total of an hour AMA. So if you guys have any other questions you want to get out, there's about 10 minutes left.
Probably just when would be the next AMA that you line up? I know we haven't got like loads and loads of questions, but it'd be good to know when we can put our questions together for.
I think we're gonna try and plan for one after the butter launch is completed. So I don't know if it's gonna be Sunday after that launch is actually completed, or if it will be the weekend after, or sometime during that week. We have to solidify the time, but you guys will get ample notice like you did for this one.
Cool, thanks.
Tab icon's working for me, by the way. I just had to clear some files out.
Some hell yeah.
Great.
I just got here, but I was wondering when it'd be listed to those websites like Coin Market Cap and such.
Yeah, that's entirely out of our control right now. We have submitted those applications, and we haven't heard back from any of them yet. We will. They have, very strict notification on their site. They say, please, if you don't hear back, do not submit more. It will delay your submission. So we're currently just in the waiting period until we hear a yes or no from them.
All right, thank you.
That goes for like BSC scan and the update of the milk token icon and everything like that, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Those are all submitted, and we're just waiting to hear back.
Which might kind of be a nice thing too, based on if it had come out in a couple of days, butter wouldn't have been ready yet. So if it gets approved after the butter launch, not only will we have butter out, but we'll have the intro video, and then those that see it will see a lot more refined base as well. Anything else?
Not that we would expect something like this to happen, but if there's would there be anything that would stop like CoinGecko or things like that from saying yes and, listing us?
I don't believe so. It looks like the way it works is as long as you fill out the forms properly, which there are very specific directions on how to fill out basically every field in the form, they will list you.
Got it. Thank you. Also, thanks for all of your work. It's been fun to be a part of the community, and we definitely appreciate all you guys who work really hard. So thanks again.
No worries. Thanks to all you guys.
Yes, thank you very much for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, thanks a heap.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm happy to see all of the benefits we've already put towards and just the amount of effort. It's really awesome. And to know that we've already made a difference in such a short amount of time is good, in my opinion. Like, for those of the people that have been spreading FUD, I feel like some of them aren't looking at the bigger picture. And I'll say I'm glad that the dumped holder is gone, the one that was constantly dumping.
He who shall not be named.
I guess this is more of like a sort of Discord request, really. It would be great if there was some sort of Discord channel to just less suggestions, but more like bugs or sort of critical comments. I'm not suggesting anything new, but just something to add or some clarification. I don't know if that would be useful for everyone else.
Yeah, we can look into that for sure.
Actually, piggybacking off of that, just some, I'm actually still pretty new to crypto myself, and having some channels that are like more walkthroughs and things like that would be really awesome. I know that there's already one on like how to get milk and things like that, but if there was just a lot more ease of able to walk people through some of this stuff, it's great. I think I've kind of blundered my way through and somehow come out the other side okay. But I know a lot of other people are kind of up against a wall, of trying to figure out how to buy milk and how it all works. So if there was a Discord, like another just more clear with really easy step-by-step stuff that a 5-year-old could do, that'd be great. Because sometimes I think like a 5-year-old, I think.
I can put together like an infographic or something for everybody. I mean, I've already done it once. I'd be happy to do it again to make things a little bit easier.
Great, and yeah, if you make that, send it my way. I'll make sure it's spread on all of our different platforms and whatnot. But yeah,
I'll send you that infographic for boosting milk. It's in the general chat, but I forgot to send it to you directly.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah. So I'll be doing a lot of the updates for like Discord or any comments you guys have on that. So yeah, I'll look into adding that section. And then if I get infographics from you guys or after the video's out, it'll probably have its own section just as introduction for people to watch how a quick, like, how to stake, stuff like that. So these are all good comments. We want to make this as great as we can. And we definitely need feedback from you guys to do that. So thank you.
Yeah, just as a plus one on those infographics, that they're so helpful, and I think that, and it's something that we saw on SafeMoon as well, is that a lot of people really do want to get involved, but they feel intimidated or put off by the numerous steps involved to get there. But when it's all sort of encapsulated in this infographic, it seems a lot less challenging. And for me personally, I've actually seen a lot of friends being able to get onto this things like this just because of how simple people lay it out.
Yeah, great. I totally agree. Yeah, I remember when I was getting into tokens, it was like 4 different how-tos. I had to figure it out. So hopefully, just in general too, not even on our thing, the tokens become a lot more simple, like Bitcoin, where you can just buy it directly instead of going through like 14 steps.
Especially for US users who have a hard time figuring out how to deal with the Binance Smart Chain. That was a huge roadblock for me. And I, put a lot of freaking, head against the wall moments to try and get my way through that. So that's a real hurdle for some folks. And it almost was for me. And I'm glad I figured it out so I can be here today. But yeah, so +1 on all that too.
Cool. Well, yeah, stay tuned, guys. We'll definitely, anytime we update something like that, I'll make an official announcement on every platform, whatever you prefer using. And yeah, keep the suggestions coming. We got about 3 minutes here, so I'd say unless we have another question or two, we'll just wrap this up.
Wyatt 420 in general chat asked what the time frame on becoming a legal entity is, and me and Claypool have already been looking into this, and we're just narrowing down which options would be the most ideal for this, but it should be in the coming weeks.
Awesome. Any last?
Great ran AMA. Appreciate it.
One last question. Say if we have a skill set to offer, and it's not necessarily development, but for instance, I professionally write training documentation. I do software deployments and stuff like that. How could we put those out there for you to where you could use them if you needed them? How could we get that in front of your eyes the best way?
That's actually a great idea. I do have an email address set up for the Milk Token website. So if you want to send me qualifications or whatever, I guess I should make a post to say, send me your qualifications, but it's admin@milktoken.net. That. So I'll make a post that anyone who wants to kind of submit their qualification or how they can help us there. But that's how you do it. admin@milktoken.net.
Yeah, that's a great idea and comment. Thanks. Yeah, I've just been compiling a little list from people who DM me their skills, but that would be helpful if you guys email it if you want to help out.
An extension of that, it'd be nice if you guys posted, current and future needs too, so people have an idea of the growth kind of categories you guys will need to expand on.
Perfect. Yeah.
And in regards to the website, I would love to see like contact information present on it. It just, if it's easy to find, it's just better overall.
Yeah, certainly. I can go ahead and add that contact info tonight. I just made that email yesterday, actually, so I haven't had a chance to add it to the site, but I will make it easily accessible today.
Awesome.
All right. Well, any last words from the rest of the team? Claypool, anyone?
I just like to thank everyone for all your questions, and I hope we answered them to the fullest to your satisfaction. Thank all you guys for being here and helping us believe in the project, because I think we're going to do something really good here.
Really appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming. See ya.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
very much.
Thanks a lot, guys. You're fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hate.
Drink some milk.